Hello, everybody. This is about Donald Trump. He's president of the United States, as you might know. It says a lot about Donald Trump that 23 women have accused him of sex crimes all the way up to and including rape. And these are the ones who've gone on the record, who've revealed their identities. And that makes it a lot more credible that they had the courage to put their heads above the parapet because there are a lot of Trumpist trolls out there who will try and take them down. There may even be some Trumpist nuts who'd assassinate them. So it was very hard to believe that a woman would put her life on the line if it were a lie. Ian Jean Carroll, famously, she said that about 30 years ago, she was raped by him in a department store dressing room. She went public with that in 2019, and she won her lawsuit. So it was proven in court that he sexually abused her. Not that he raped her, that he sexually abused her. But there are more proceedings which are still going on. And so that was only proved to the civil standard, but nevertheless, it has been proved in court that he has sexually abused a woman. Now, in Ireland or in Great Britain, no political party would touch any man who had such a finding against him for even the lowest level of electoral politics, let alone to be president. Or Jessica Leeds, who was an air hostess. Well, she said that he groped her and sexually assaulted her on a plane in the early 1980s and things like that. Or Kristen Anderson, who was a model who said in the early 90s that he groped her in a nightclub and things like that, indeed in touching her female sexual organ and so forth, and things like that. Also, Temple Taggart McDowell, the Miss Utah, she said that she was sexually molested by him in 1997. Yeah, Samantha Holvey saying that she was ogled by him and in the 90s. And even his ex-wife, Ivana Trump, said that she was raped by him, but not in the legal or technical sense in 1989, as in some intercourse that she really didn't want, but she didn't actually say no, that it was painful and blah, blah, blah. And she actually said that in a deposition in 1989. So you can't tie that to trying to oppose his political ambition. So his 23 women have accused him of sort of these things. Um, wow. So that really is very damning. So most men have never been accused of even sexual harassment, let alone touching someone, harassment. Now, Donald Trump would have to be the unluckiest man in the world to have so many women making these accusations. They're all completely groundless. Um, I'm not quite one who believes there's no smoke without fire, but there's a pattern of behavior here, like the Access Hollywood tape we made with Billy Bush, a cousin of President George W. Bush, saying, yes, grab them by the pussy, they just let you, blah, blah, blah. I don't think many women, or maybe any women, want to be grabbed and they just let you. And who are Trump supporters? They're values voters. They're family values people. They're oh so moral, holier than thou, and pharisaical. Judgmental isn't the word. And this is the guy they go for. Donald J. Trump, you can tell what he's like. And when he was running that Miss Teen USA pageant, going into the dressing room in their various states of undress, I'm not sure that they're quite in the nude, but might have been in their smalls. And they were all certainly all under 18, or as young as 14, things like that. So there is a deeply unsavory pattern of behavior. It's quite easy to believe that given his publicly verifiable behavior. If that's what he does in public, what on earth does he do in private? You'd think it would be even worse. So all these women saying this about him, and not necessarily his political opponents. It's staggering and sickening that the Republican Party would go for him. Is there a rapist in the White House? There probably is. And obviously, it can't be proven until there's a trial. So, no, I'm not certain. I just think it's certainly over a 50% chance because somebody is lying here. It's either him or it's them. If it's one person accusing him, okay, maybe on the face of it, there's a 50% chance he's innocent. If there are two people accusing him, the chance he's innocent is below 50%. And the more accusers, the lower and lower chance he's innocent. I mean, even the late unlamented Sir Jimmy Savile, thought to be one of Britain's most prolific paedophiles. Obviously, nothing was ever proven against him in court. He died never having faced a single charge. But because about 800 people accuse him, it would beg a belief that none of it is true. At least some of it's got to be true. At the same time with Donald J. Trump. And why would we believe his accusations when we know he lies so much? He's absolutely Pinocchio, the fire hose of lies, as they often say, just machine gunning us with lies faster than you can cope with. Thousands upon thousands of provable lies told on the record in his first term in presidency, in between his two presidential terms, into his current term in presidency, things which go against easily verifiable facts. And these are things that are like not close, not half truth. These are pants on fire lying. So someone who's got absolutely zero credibility, Donald J. Trump, who's got all these non-disclosure agreements and things like that. We know he's a liar. We know he makes perjurious statements. We know he's a criminal because of those 24 convictions. Those felony convictions in New York State last year. So such a person has got no credibility whatsoever as a witness. So you would have to be astonishingly thick to trust him rather than women of unblemished reputation. Now, I know when Donald Trump was accused, he tried to turn that into something partisan, saying, "Well, look at Bill Clinton." Now, Bill Clinton, innocent, guilty, even if he is guilty, that in no way is something which would exonerate Donald J. Trump. How would that possibly exculpate him? Two wrongs don't make a right. Now, the late, great Christopher Hitchens, though he's a leftist, he's an idol of mine, and he asked of William Jefferson Clinton, "Is there a rapist in the White House?" And he thought probably, and he was accused of several serious sex crimes, all the way as far as rape. But feminists stayed on his side just because he was a mass murderer of children like them. So yeah, Clinton was never convicted of anything. He did pay out millions of dollars. Trump, I suppose the only thing that looks good for him is he hasn't, partly because he's so stingy, just the non-disclosure agreements. We know he's highly promiscuous, which is nothing wrong with that. I know that the wingnuts Bible bashers wouldn't like that one. Um, him being very promiscuous makes it a little less hard to believe than if he was, completely uxorious. But so the Democrats now they're all jumping on the Me Too bandwagon, accusation equals conviction. But when one of their own was accused of the 90s, they were going to stand by him. And again, nothing proven. Though I abominate Bill Clinton, I recognize he's evil. He also gets the presumption of innocence. So we have to presume he's innocent. And Donald Trump, as I say, no, it's not proven he's guilty except against E. Jean Carroll. Well, we know he's a sex offender because of E. Jean Carroll. It makes all the other allegations more credible. We don't actually know that they're true. And okay, we have to look at each one on the merits. So why would they false accuse? Because they want money, because they want notoriety, because they want to take him down, because they're insane. Okay, there are possibilities, but surely it's far more likely that at least one of them is telling the truth than Donald J. Trump.